When you have the whole identity surrounded you about what you do for a living, how much money you make, who you're married to, what kind of car you drive, what team you work for, all of this, where you went to school, how you look. And I had gained about 50 pounds. Like, your identity becomes crisis because who we are is based off of what we have, right? But is it? So when you have everything stripped away from you, what's left?
It all speaks for itself. Grinding and sound ain't nothing to tell. When we step on the court, we gon' bring it to light. And we stop and pop like we caught it a light. Stop asking what's wrong with me. You already know there's a dog in me. Yeah, there's no stopping my focus, man. Make sure all my people gon' ball with me. Yeah, I came to compete, I'm a dog with it. Yeah, I came to compete with my paws in it.
What's up, CTA family? Welcome back to another episode of the Compete Mentality Podcast. The Compete Mentality Podcast exists to motivate, educate, and inspire you guys to compete. And truly, I am so grateful for you joining me here today. It's going to be an epic episode because of our guest, but I also want to thank you, the listener. If this is your first time, thank you for being here. If this is your second, third, fourth, and you're a faithful listener, thank you. You are a part of our family. And I want to introduce today a dear friend of mine, Amber Kivett. Amber, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, truly an honor.
Can't wait to dive in. Amber has an unbelievable story, doing unbelievable things, and we're going to continue to just pull that out throughout the entirety of the podcast. But to introduce Amber, I met Amber through a program that I am a part of with Todd Durkin, and we had a retreat in Montana, Whitefish, Montana. And Todd was connecting us just like Todd does. He does a great job connecting. And he's like, you guys need to meet. You are the barn guy in northern Indiana. You are the barn girl in southern Indiana. You guys got to meet. And I'm like, what? There's another person with a barn? And this is it's Amber Kivett from Kivett Kinetic Solutions. She's the owner. She taped Drew Brees' ankles at Purdue as an athletic trainer, student.
There we go.
So there's just so much in common, Boilermaker blood together, and we just hit it off from the start. Love what Amber's doing. Love the mission, her meaningful mission in life, and this is going to be a special treat. So wherever you're at, tune in. If you're working out, you're going to get amped up and you're going to do an extra rep. If you're driving, be careful not to put the pedal to the metal and get a ticket. But Amber, I want to dive in a little lighter.
Yeah.
At CTA, we love working out hard. We love taking care of our mind, body, spirit.
Yep.
But we also love good eats and eating healthy, eating primarily food that the sun touches and filling our body with a gallon of water a day. But sometimes you got to have the cheat meal too, right? Mm-hmm. So want to just open that up as you answer this question. If you and your husband are going out on a date,
okay,
anywhere in the country.
Oh, that's a
where?
Deep question.
Yeah, where are you going,
okay,
and what are you ordering?
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep it simple. If you're an Indiana Hoosier, we're all about Harry and Izzy's downtown.
Oh yeah.
Gotta celebrate Peyton Manning and the culture of Indianapolis. So I love the filet mignon with some meatball appetizers. But anywhere in the world, that's a tough one. San Diego.
Yep.
California.
Yep.
I've been to some great places there. The Naked Cafe is one of my favorites for breakfast.
Oh,
I could eat breakfast all day, every day.
Courtney and I ate at the Naked Cafe 3 times when we were there last
great.
time. It was amazing.
Yeah,
yes.
so there's we actually are celebrating 26 years together this weekend. So
Congrats.
We're actually doing some Harry and Izzy's this weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Good for you.
Question.
Good for you. And right off, I gotta go from there.
Yeah.
26 years.
26 years together.
Yep.
We were long distance for 5 years while I was at Purdue,
yep,
and 2 years dating close distance to make sure compatibility is opposites.
Yep, that's right.
Opposites.
That's right.
And we've been together for a long time. So it's been married 19 years.
Yep.
This is the year that breaks that we've been together the same amount of time that we've been apart. So
wow.
We met when I was 19 and we've been together 19 now. So next year is the big anniversary vacation solo, since we'll be together longer than we've been apart.
19 years, Courtney and I 9. Give Courtney and I some wisdom. How'd you get to 19?
More important than anything, the 10 forms of wealth saved us. I don't think he knew that he was being saved, but I'll just say that it is really hard when you're living your dreams, she's living her dreams, and they're not the same dreams. And your ideology to get to that endpoint and her ideology of getting to her endpoint, even if you're not thinking the same dreams, you have to support the mission. You don't have to be a part of it, but you have to support it.
Yes.
And marriage is about compromise. It's all about compromising. It's not about living about you. It's about being stronger for your mate, for your soulmate when they are down. And he has saved me so many times. So I'm just going to say we have never gone to bed angry.
Wow.
Physical touch is really important for men.
Yep.
So whether you're into that or not as a companion, you have to make sure that you know what the love language is. Yep. And my love languages are different than his, so I actually made him read that book. But I also made him do the 10 forms of wealth. And what came to be a rocky part, which nobody really knew it was rocky, I was feeling some distance because of the farming life. And I'm not a farming, I was not raised on the farm. My daughter's the 5th generation on our farm. So I would say that the most important thing is making sure that you respect each other's dreams, even though they're not the same. And communicating that. And the 10 forms of wealth was an easy way to communicate that. Without creating it as a focal point that there's problems.
10 forms of wealth is a game changer. That's something I practice too. You can Google it.
Monthly.
Monthly. Absolutely. Monthly, weekly, whatever. Dive
wealth
into it.
Is not about money.
It
is truly a collaboration of 10 major areas of life. And Todd Durkin saved me on that about a decade ago. And what made a difference for him and I was what he thought he was strong at. I wasn't seeing that. What he thought he was weak at, I thought he was stronger. So how you see yourself and how others see yourself always comes out different, but that is an awesome activity to be able to cast some light on each other.
Well, you weren't trying to preach, but we're already hopping in, so I love it. I love it. Preach it. Compromise. That's the word.
And love language. Just know how to love your companion, how they actually want to be loved, not how you think they should be loved.
So good.
Boom.
I love it. We're hopping right into this. Amber, I want to direct our conversation a little bit to just introduce who you are and what you do.
Sure.
There's a...
That's a big bag.
Just... It's I can't wait for our audience to hear.
So my name is Amber Kivett. I'm originally from Plainfield, Indiana. Went to Purdue for 6 years from 96 to 2002. Actually majored in chemistry for 2 years and actually went to Purdue to get away from life. Kind of the reset button. Gave me an opportunity to kind of be my own individual without judgment because it's such a big campus. Like it's easy to get lost and start over. It's such a great thing. So many people are afraid of big campuses, but it's a great thing. As far as getting into sports medicine, exercise science, I got actually into that by, I'm not going to say mistake, but I'm going to say that I was in the right room at the right time, though I thought I was in the wrong room at the wrong time. God had me in that room for a reason. And I did not know that world even existed and thought I was getting into strength coaching. And happened to be at one of the top sports medicine programs in the country. And out of 90 students, they took 12. And I was on a mission to succeed at something. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. And just truly found love in the field and grieved it out. Worked the trenches. Truly, if you're not in it, if you don't understand athletic training,
oh my goodness, it's a grind.
You're in the trenches doing the nastiest work, working the longest hours, and getting paid low,
nothing,
if any. It is a labor of love. I got into that and truly lived my best years, those 6 years. And I say those were truly some of the best years of my life because it gave me a chance to be my authentic self. And figure out who I actually wanted to be.
That's powerful.
And then after getting out, hit the glass ceiling in the first 3 years and was like, okay, I'm in a male-dominated environment, in a male-dominated profession between strength coaching and sports medicine at the time. And it was, I topped out. And I was truly living my absolute best life in 2005. My husband and I got married in 2004, August 27th of 2004. I had just covered the World FINA Swimming Championships. That was the event that chose the team to go to the Beijing Summer Olympic Games. I was in charge of that event.
Wow.
And like I said, hit truly at the top of the ceiling.
Yeah.
And worked with Michael Phelps, brought in all of these Olympic athletes as the head athletic trainer on site. Great opportunity, a lot of stress.
Yes.
A lot of stress.
Yep.
And conquered it. And then a month later, just covering a baseball game on a Saturday, and came to a stoplight and got hit hard between 3 vehicles and 3 impacts. And my life went from being the absolute best of my life to the absolute worst day of my life. Or so I thought.
Right.
And so I became injured with 8 spinal injuries, head trauma, and fibromyalgia. And back then was the surge of the OxyContin epidemic. And nobody knew anything about concussion management like we do now. Nobody understood autoimmune disease or fibromyalgia. It was just a garbage can diagnosis for, we don't know what's wrong with you. You're a freak of nature. This is your category, and this is how life is.
Oh, my.
A lot of test drugs at the time, so I became a guinea pig to 7 doctors, and truly a vegetable. I mean, I didn't have a spinal cord injury, but my body was so under stress, and I was just so willing to succeed and scared to death to fail that it truly sucked the life out of me. So I was looking at learning to walk again and figuring out how to manage 8 spinal injuries, excruciating pain, and my reality of being a newlywed and not being able to physically engage with the excitement of being in love with the love of your life. So it was very scary time for me.
Absolutely.
But 23 pills a day, 15 appointments a week, and no hope of what's going to be tomorrow, and a lot of fear will teach you a lot. You can either fold up and surrender to disability and Social Security benefits, or you can fight. And I fought. So
I got to stop you right there. And we're hopping right into this. And I love this. And this is an unbelievable story. This needs to be a book, a movie. But how did you get out of it? You're saying you chose to fight. What was like that moment where you're like, okay.
I hallucinated because the doctors overdosed me.
Okay.
My husband happened to be home that day. I hallucinated because they were over-medicating me. There was no controlled substance log back then. I was taking 8 to 10 Percocet a day, overlapping with anywhere from 3 to 6 Tramadol, Ultram a day, in addition to sleeping pills, Flexeril, antidepressants, all kinds of stuff. And truly an experimental guinea pig to a bunch of people who knew nothing. So when I hallucinated that day, just to give some backstory, back in my years of being a child, I suffered sexual abuse from 4th grade to 7th grade, and then I was gang raped by 3 in high school. So I actually had attempted suicide my senior year of high school. To not have control over your body and your mind is a very scary place to be. And when you're hallucinating, you don't have control over your mind or your body. And so when my husband asked me who I was talking to in the room, I had no short-term memory because of the head injury that went undiagnosed because of all the drugs covering up the symptoms. It was very scary for me. And I told my husband, I said, I don't want to take any more medicine. And I had headaches like no other. When you have a head injury, the headaches take over you, and you just want to crawl into a dark room and take a pill and hope time passes and you wake up being able to see light. And it just doesn't happen. So medicine makes the body swell more, and it changes how the nervous system works. So I wasn't getting better, I was getting worse. But the doctors were like, well, we just don't know what to do with you. You know? We don't know what to do with you. You're out of luck. So I ended up doing some research in acupuncture for headache management. Went and saw an Asian doctor, and I went in for the intention of acupuncture, and he evaluated me with blood toxicity screenings, blood, saliva, and urine, and I was a month from dialysis. So that was a wake-up call. And he said, these doctors are killing you. You've got to get off these meds, and I'm going to help you do it. And he said, and you got to get moving. And I said, but these doctors are telling me not to move. They're telling me to rest and to take the meds and to follow the regimen and to do physical therapy. And Everybody wants to know what my pain scale is, but I don't even know how I feel anymore because I'm just a shell. Like my soul was missing. So
Yep.
very scary time.
Yep.
And again, the identity of when you have the whole identity surrounded you about what you do for a living, how much money you make, who you're married to, what kind of car you drive,
Yep.
what team you work for, all of this, where you went to school, how you look. And I had gained about 50 pounds. Like, your identity becomes crisis because who
Yep.
we are is based off of what we have, right? But is it? So when you have everything stripped away from you, what's left? So I had to find me. Yeah.
That is
I had to
good.
find me. So I found the Asian doctor, and he introduced me to cupping and acupuncture and herbal
Right.
detox. And I hired a psychologist to teach me how to deal with the mental threshold of pain
Yep.
management without drugs.
Yep.
Worked with professional athletes, so knew how to
Yes.
engage somebody
Right.
from a very high level of living to a very
Yep.
low level
Yep.
of living
Exactly.
and identity.
Yep.
And I hired a chiropractor who worked and did a lot of manual therapy on her own. She taught me a lot of things that sports medicine never taught me. And I decided not to be a number anymore in the medical system and decided to be Amber.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then when I healed, I taught myself a lot.
Yes.
Because I already had the foundation.
Yep.
So I just started teaching myself and exploring. And it's interesting because everything that they told me not to do is what fixed me.
Right.
Movement is medicine, motion is lotion.
That's it.
And so
Yep.
After I started moving again and realized I didn't have to take a pill to feel pain relief,
Yep.
that I actually was getting better and better by doing what my instinct was telling me all along, what actually made me happy.
Yep.
I just kind of found my own way and just continued to take a day at a time.
Yep.
The greatest words of advice my psychologist at that time taught me was, you're going to have to learn how to live an hour at a time, and you're going to have to tell people, we'll see,
Yep.
if you don't have answers.
Right.
Because the future's not here yet.
Right.
So you really don't know.
Right.
And it took so much pressure off.
Yes.
So much.
Right.
So
Well, he gives
I
us
found me.
Yeah. So, would you say? I'm thinking time frame of your life now. I know your story. I know you well.
Yeah.
So, like, from that, magic was born. Kivett Kinetic Solutions was born.
that was the God. I can remember so many times in my life of asking God, why are you doing this to me? Instead of, why are you doing this for me?
Right.
I'm going to get emotional.
Yep.
You have to live it in order to be able to be qualified to solve it.
That's it.
And that's the missing link in sports medicine right now, is everybody's following a protocol,
Yep.
but nobody understands how it actually feels. And you have to be able to understand what it feels like
Yep.
to change your identity and to feel how to live one day at a time, 1 hour at a time with fear, and how to hit
Yep.
that fear head on
Yep.
and not be afraid to fail.
Right.
And not be afraid of who you are and what God's lessons are that he's teaching you in that moment.
Yes.
And I was further away from God at that time than any other time in my life, I think. Already a Christian woman baptized, I mean, we live in Christian faith, but you learn
Oh.
that you can't live without it until you try.
Right.
So I would say magic was born, but I didn't know it was being born until years later. I didn't realize that
Okay.
God was giving me this incredible gift to heal so many
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Until years later, he was priming me
Yep.
for what the purpose was yet to come.
So I got to tell you, audience, Amber has a gift. She has a superpower. She has a light to shine to the world. And I can see it and it was birthed from all of that
Yep.
crap that you went through.
Adversity, we'll call it.
Adversity, right? This adversity became your new opportunity.
Yep.
Give our audience a good view of what you do now. Kivett Kinetic Solutions, the magic,
Yep.
Mooresville, Indiana,
Monrovia.
Monrovia.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Small towns.
Small towns
right
matter.
here.
They
Absolutely matter. To give our audience just the view of everything
Yeah.
you do today.
So Kivett Kinetic Solutions started with movement with purpose, endless possibilities. Now they call me the gatekeeper of dreams.
Yep.
They being the thousands of clients that I serve, from professional athletes all the way down to the disabled individuals that come my way.
Absolutely.
people call me the gatekeeper of dreams. He or she who has good health and has no pain has 1,000 dreams, and he or she doesn't only has one dream, and it's to feel relief and have hope that tomorrow's going to come. And I have the power to give that to them by just finding, through God leading my hands and leading my mind, where the pain and where the missing link and where the light actually lies within their system.
Yes.
Mind, body, and spirit, full circle.
Yep, full circle.
Adversity, in my definition, is God's idea of resistance, because we would never choose that resistance for ourselves. But why do we do resistance training, Jordan?
To grow, to get stronger.
Why do you nailed it? To get stronger. We go to the weight room and we do types of training and sport to get better and to get stronger. Adversity is just simply God's prescription of resistance training for us. But we would never choose that for ourselves, because we are too selfish and we want the reward now.
That's it.
But for every choice we make, there is an immediate reward or an immediate consequence, and we get both. It's just a matter of whether we get one now or whether we get it later.
Yes.
And because we are human, we want the rewards now, which means the consequences come later.
Yes.
So I dealt with the consequences first because I didn't choose that. The rewards are I'm still reaping the rewards. And the rewards will come forever because that's my purpose. And the day that you're born is one of the most important days of your life. But the day you figure out why you're born is the single most important day after that. And when you live in purpose, life just...
That's it. When you find out why you're here
to serve,
you will have an unlimited amount of enthusiasm and energy coming from the wellspring within you to get up and do what you got to do every day.
Even though people don't understand how it's possible.
No. Like, how do you do it?
You kind of come out of nowhere. Can't explain it sometimes.
You can't explain it.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, I want to encourage you. Find why you're here. Find the why. The purpose. And I promise you, watch how your universe around you transforms and changes. And all of a sudden you have this energy, this enthusiasm for life, enthusiasm on Theos, God's spirit within you, that just is endless amount. God gives it to you.
But I think so many people, Jordan, stress about trying to find it too hard. So don't try too hard. Just open your ears to the whispers. Open your heart to the whispers. So for me, what I do now, back to your original question. I went back to work. It took me 2 years to learn to walk again. Up and down stairs with full capacity, full functional capacity without a pill. And I wanted to get back into being an athletic trainer or into the strength coaching life. And nobody wanted me. I was broken goods. The individuals that I used to work for, I tried to go back to work for them, and they judged me. And I couldn't handle the judgment. And I was I was dealing with so much negative energy. And I thought, I did not fight this hard to live my life, to go back into the storm. So I left, and I went somewhere else to try and find another athletic training position in a high school. And again, I'm not sexist, but another male-dominated good old boy network. And they politely told me that my energy was not welcome into their circle. And so I left in that environment. Actually got fired from that environment. It was humiliating because I stuck my neck out for an athlete with a head injury, knowing what I had been through, and they didn't like it. So they let me go, which was fine. And then after that, I went through kind of another crisis. Like, am I supposed to do this? And I actually applied to massage therapy school, and I applied to nursing school, and I was going to start over. Because I was so angry with where it was at. And like, this just keeps kicking me in the butt, right? Like, why is this happening again? So I got accepted into both programs, and I actually went to campus to schedule, and I was looking at another 2 years. And I'd already been for 6. And still coming out with another degree, but no master's. And something told me to get back in the car and go home and continue to look. And so I actually went to a fitness center and worked minimum wage, folding towels and checking IDs for almost 9 months. And my husband, being the amazing man that he is, said, honey, your full-time job is just to get healthy because I can't take care of you and a baby. And we wanted a child. And so I got myself healthy. And then he said, honey, your full-time job is to just be happy. We don't have to have you making as much money as you think you need to make. You just need to find yourself again. Because I'd found myself. And then all these people took my identity away again from being an athletic trainer. And so I said, okay. So I started listening, sitting at this counter, like just watching people. But here's the thing, Jordan, like through all the years that I was at that facility pedaling so hard that I couldn't even turn on the bike.
Right.
I always made sure I was there during the time that senior citizens were there.
Yep.
And they became a support circle.
Yep.
Because I was humiliated being around other people my age.
Yep.
And who was I seeing at that towel counter? Senior citizens
Right.
who were complaining
Yep.
about their physical therapy
Yep.
sessions and
Yep.
about the doctors that are screwing them over. And I thought, man, this is too easy.
Yeah.
And so I sat there and developed the business plan for Kinetic Solutions right there. And I drew it out, logo and all, like
And-
slogan,
Yes.
motto, mission.
Yep.
And I had to start a business as an independent contractor to be able to do personal training
Yes.
for senior citizens.
Yep.
And it was super easy.
Yeah.
And then I decided to have a child, and my husband had a firm belief of taking care of her at home.
Yep.
And so Kinetic Solutions went from being
Yep.
at a large gym
Yep.
to my garage.
Yep.
And people were excited
Yeah.
to be in the room because of what I was doing. And so I was training like 75 people a week.
Yep.
A lot of cash a month.
Yep.
And the 4,000 square foot pole
Yep.
barn that we lived in
Yes,
as a first
right.
barn dominium 20 years
That's
ago.
right. That's right.
Became the sanctuary that it is today.
Yes.
And from there, I decided, okay, I can do this as a coach. So I left athletic training,
Yes.
kept my certification, and did my CEUs, but I became a coach.
Yes.
Athletic trainers don't
Yes.
coach. They're
Yes.
therapists.
Yep.
They're practitioners,
Yep.
right? And I was coaching. And then I thought, man, what a great platform to be able to teach other what I'm actually capable of doing.
Yep.
So I figured out what the legal requirements were for me to be able to practice on my own with physician backing me.
Yep.
Found the doctor to do it.
Yep.
And then got certified in everything that healed me.
Yep.
Like, and immersed myself into the world of Eastern methodology.
Yes.
So
Yep.
cupping,
Yep.
acupuncture, scraping, meditation, the fascial connective energy system.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just how I learned the body on just a whole different level through my own adversity, and created my own system, which we have branded as Kivett Instant Pain Relief Systems.
Yep.
Kippers for short.
Yep.
And so people come and see me from all over the country, and
Yep.
I've got people that fly in, and every day is an opportunity for God to bring somebody to my door. But I
Yes.
know every day now, I didn't figure this out until maybe 5 years ago, that
Yep.
I actually had a gift to heal.
Yes.
I just assumed that everybody
Yep.
could do this. And then during the pandemic, people
Yep.
were coming in, over 200 people walking in my house.
Yep.
As we were renovating my facility to
Yeah.
make it the world-class facility that it's become.
It is amazing facility.
And-
We're going to talk about that here in a little bit.
Yeah, so it's, all these people are coming in and they've been everywhere else and they're not getting better. And it just takes 1 to 3 appointments with a 90% success rate.
Yep.
90% success rate of 1 to 3 appointments.
That's it.
And they're 100% pain-free.
And this
The pain
is
goes away.
This
And they're restored.
this healing, this superpower that you've also called magic.
Yes?
Tell us about the magic. MAGIK.
Hey, yes.
Tell us about the magic.
Because I've worked on just thousands and thousands of people over the last decade, Kinetic Solutions was born in 2008, February 2008.
Yep.
Little over 15 years ago. Every person, whether it was corrective exercise or putting together a program, or whether it was working on them, people started calling me Magic Hands or the Magic Lady.
Yep.
Because everything I did changed their life, and so they all said that I had this magic in me. Until people started calling me a witch or a sorcerer.
Yeah.
And everything I do is in spirit.
Yep.
I like to say that people who are living in arrogance are living with their ego and etching God out, and everything I do is living
Ego,
in spirit
etching God out. I love that.
to change people for the better, and everything I do is bigger than me. It has nothing to do within me. It is bigger than me.
Vessel.
It is, yes. I'm just delivering
Yep.
the energy.
That's
and
it.
so everything I do is in spirit, and so I had to change that acronym or that word
Yep.
by putting my logo at the
right.
end of it.
That's right.
So MAGIK is now an acronym with words motivation, acceptance, greatness and gifts, inspiration, and kindness. And
So good.
magic
Say
is
that again.
motivating others to being better by just accepting them right where they're at, because everybody comes in broken.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid.
Yeah.
And everybody's already been judged. And we're not God, so we don't have the right to judge each other. We don't have the ability to compare ourselves to each other, because that's the thief of joy, right?
That's it.
So
that's it.
Accepting people right where they're at, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
Or how great they might be. And recognizing that there's greatness in all of us, and that we all have special gifts, but most people don't see that in themselves. So I get to expose that by just seeing them as they are and letting God whisper to me, like, what am I supposed to make sure this person knows?
Yep.
By working on them.
Yep. That's
We're
amazing.
working in them. And then inspiring them just by being kind. Because most people are just a number in the medical system nowadays. And they just want people to love them and to care. And so everything we do is in love and is in God.
Yep. Amber, I want to dive in now more to the barn itself. This is like kind of how you and I met. This is kind of how we got connected. Was Todd was like, you got the barn, she's got the barn. I want to talk more about the barn. So we're in Indiana, in the middle of nowhere, Midwest. You train thousands of people from, like you said, people who are disabled, wherever they're at, senior citizens, pro athletes, big time pro athletes in the barn. Tell us about this space, because I know when I walked in there for the first time, I just felt this aura.
Yeah.
Like it's a spiritual place.
It is.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so my husband built this Morton pole barn back in the late 90s when we started dating, with the intention of turning it into a barndominium. And Morton puts in the best. And so he had framed a house inside of this, and when we decided to build our custom home right next door to the barn, I continued seeing clients in the gym, which was just a concrete epoxy-covered floor. And I knew that I had a gift to heal after I'd worked on Todd Durkin, who was ranked as one of the top in the world in massage and health wellness. And when he endorsed me, and then working with some other high-profile individuals and getting those endorsements, people started coming from everywhere. And I thought, oh, my gosh.
Like who, if you don't mind?
I have worked on Drew Brees. I have worked on a Mets pitcher that I'm going to keep his name to myself. I work on professional race car drivers. I work on, oh my gosh, I'm thinking in my mind.
No, you're
so
good.
many.
I just wanted to brag on you, because this lady, these ladies, Amber works on the best.
On the absolute best. And most of these people, like I said, they come in and they have just settled with their reality that this is who I have to be the rest of my life. And then when they leave, it's like, how did you do that? Like, I've not felt this way. Like, you saved me from a surgery.
Right.
And it just, I don't know how the energy, I mean, I know what my intentions are. And I know what I'm introducing into the body, and how I'm able to talk to them into the positive mindset and flipping that switch. But to see it come to life, I don't know. It's God. I mean, God is the only one who can fix it. It's truly the miracles. The body has the power to fix itself if we would just get out of the way. But we have to prime the body to be able to fix itself. And we got to do the work. We have to do the work. And I have become qualified and trained to service Ferraris.
Right.
And I have the Ferrari toolbox in my gym. And I convert lower level vehicles into Ferraris every day. And when you can treat your body as a Ferrari with a different intention, things happen. But when the pandemic happened, it was an answered prayer for us, because we knew so many people were going to be coming from all over. Now that we knew what we were up against, and I wanted it to be an experience, not just an appointment. So I prayed like for a couple of months before, because I didn't want to go to the city and be away from my daughter, who had been hands-on with me in the very beginning. And like how we're going to pay for it, and how we're going to deal with other people, because we don't own a building when you lease a building. Right. We already owned this 4,000 square foot facility on our 300 acres of a farm with cattle and next door to the house. And it has truly been like a family operation from the beginning. So I just prayed about it and started creating the vision, starting after a total hysterectomy 5 years ago at a mastermind retreat. I was broken, another identity crisis. Like, what am I going to do? My body can't handle this. And recovery, we knew recovery was on the curve of the future. And I started just honestly when you have an idea that God gives you and you quit sleeping at night,
yes,
new purpose is born. You're reinventing
That's good
the
right
wheel.
there. We've been there.
I couldn't
Yep.
sleep.
Yeah.
I was writing notes in my
that's cool.
dreams, and God's angels come to you in your dreams and give you ideas.
That's true.
And I get up and write it in a journal at bedside.
Now we're talking.
And I still
Now
have
we're
all those
talking.
notes.
Firing me up. Yep.
And so the pandemic hit.
Yep.
And then we went to work.
Yes.
And for the first time in human life, as we know it,
Yes.
there's no rules.
Right.
So you can do anything you want.
Yep.
And so I ended up in becoming the global spokesmodel for a multi-million-dollar recovery company.
Yep.
And
Yep.
did all these live videos and commercials and
Yep.
working on all these products that are way ahead of our curve.
Yep.
And got ahead of the technology and mastered it before
Yep.
we even got here.
Yep.
So that is a primary sponsor of our building. And then, the other part of it is BFR with Dr. Mike DeBoard. I found out
gotta
about
love
him
Yep.
right before the pandemic hit. And then truly became a guinea pig in my own making
Yep.
on camera live on Facebook.
Yep.
And transformed my
Yeah.
body over the period of a year. And people saw it happening live. And the numbers just poured in.
Yeah.
And so then I became an ambassador for BFR.
You
And
practice
then,
what you preach.
leader of one, a leader of many. If you can't
Yep.
lead yourself, you can't lead any.
That's it.
So I did that. And then
She's killing
there was
this.
no plan. Like, I still have the original piece of, like, computer paper that
Yep.
we drew, like, with pencil. Like, I'm drawing the dimensions and I'm starting to dream.
Yeah.
There was no designer. Like, I just let God come to me. And I bought this picture on Black Friday that year.
Yep.
That says dreams weigh more than excuses, with a big elephant on the high end and the butterfly on the low end.
Yep.
And of this teeter-totter. And that became my mantra.
That's
like,
it.
Dreams are bigger than excuses. And anytime I was exhausted from seeing the 200 people that 200 new clients walked through my front door in 18 months during the
Yep.
pandemic for help.
Yep.
And I had a private treatment room in my house that I was treating out of, and I had physician to support it all. And so as I was making money from that and making really good money from these spokesmodel opportunities and these sponsors and endorsements,
Yep.
I put every penny back into the building. It was over $100,000, and just truly created it into a sanctuary of healing with yin and yang. And so you walk in from the moment, like, just driving out is an experience. And when we say we're out in the middle of nowhere, GPS, you have to have the GPS to get there.
Google Map may steer you a little different than the map.
But you
app.
can be at the Indianapolis International Airport Terminal in 30 minutes
Yep.
flat.
Yep.
And the only thing that separates the Indianapolis International Airport and me
Yep.
is 2 stoplights
Right. Yes.
and 2 4-way
Facts.
stops. That's
Facts.
it. It's
That's
all just lush,
Oh, it's beautiful.
green space. And
You don't
hills,
even
and
feel like you're in Indiana.
You don't
When
feel
I
like you're in
pulled up, I
Indiana.
thought it was Tennessee. It's like, man, this is hills. Where are
Yeah.
these hills coming from in flat Indiana?
no negative energy.
No negative
traffic,
energy.
Just
It's
nature bathing.
unbelievable. And man, you got me fired up.
because that's what we're at here.
Yes.
Nature bathing.
That's exactly right. And Amber and I are partnering here October 13th. I can't wait.
Well, that's just part of the partnership.
It's part of
bigger than that.
That's
right.
Just,
we're just dipping
that's,
a little bit.
That's
We're
so
just a
true.
little dip.
That's true. That's true. And October 13th, we have a Dream Season X retreat. And I am opening this up for total maximum 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
And our Dream Season X community already gets into this. So we'll have about 40-ish spots left for you to experience this barn. For you to experience, Amber's going to present and speak at this. We have Todd Durkin flying in from California.
Life-changing.
Life-changing. TD.
Just TD alone is
Life-changing. We have Brady Hutchins flying in from California
No way.
to present. We have
Lucas Grounds is an opportunity.
Yes. He will be there. Yes,
He,
absolutely will.
7-time national champion in motorbike racing, broke his back, and walked on stage to accept his high school diploma with a 3% chance.
Game changer.
Game changer.
We're going to have Jeff Clark, the associate head coach at Indiana Wesleyan men's basketball. We're going to have Micah Davis, the pastor for Sanctuary Indy. We are going to have yours truly, Jordan Delks, bringing a little fire here and there, emceeing as well. And it's going to be an unbelievable day that is going to blow your mind. Our theme is your dreams are for you. They are not a joke or a hallucination. God placed them there, and I love how Amber has talked about her dream and staying up in the middle of the night. And she has not only listened to the whispers, she's put it into action, and I can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Amber,
Greatness elevates greatness.
That's it. And that's exactly what's happening in this podcast right now.
Absolutely.
And I want to, as we wrap this up, we love talking mindset. Mm-hmm. You're a mindset coach to the elite.
Yep.
I'm here coming to you for the first time.
Yep.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Sure.
I'm coming to you for the first time. My mind isn't right. I need help. Give me in the next 60 seconds, just fire me up to take on my day.
Okay. Jordan Delks, if who we are is based off of what we have, when you take it all away, who are you? Most people who come in and talk to me cannot answer that question. They say nothing. When I ask them what's left, they'll say nothing. I was like, no, you still have you. You have your spirit and your soul.
That's it.
Who are you? Like what you came from is what you do. But who are you, your authentic self? And what are 5 things that make you happy without money, people, or location? Tell me 5 things right now that make you happy without people, money, or location.
Hoo-wee.
Come on.
Yep.
Unload
5
on me.
things.
5 things.
What makes me happy without people, money, or location is my relationship with Jesus. Mm-hmm. Number 1. A peace that surpasses all understanding that guards my heart and mind in Christ Jesus. A joy that only comes from him that is unseen. A knowing belief is a mild form of doubt. I know that I was put here on this earth to coach. That is my word for my life, to coach. That word. All these things are unseen. All these things.
Right.
Focusing on what is unseen, not what is seen. For what is seen is transient, but for what is unseen is eternal.
Correct.
That is what I focus on.
Awesome. Most people cannot answer that question because who they spend their time with, what they do, how they're defined, and how they're judged and identified by others is how they see themselves.
Yes.
They're missing.
Yes.
And so I have this great activity that I offer as part of my mindset coaching called the Ultimate Bedgasm. And the bedgasm is a euphoric experience that you get to enjoy after celebrating the miracle of living a day.
Yep.
When you get home and you get in bed and you get your feet off the floor, I go through these questions verbally with my daughter, mentally in my mind. Some days I'll journal them out.
Yep.
But what has happened in your day today that you get to celebrate because you got to live it?
Yep.
And most people that I see, their first visit that are in pain, whether it's physical or they're depressed or they just are lost,
Yep.
Cannot answer these questions. They're living in a fog. They're reacting instead of being their own thermometer gauge. They're reacting to the temperature in the room instead of being their own thermometer.
Be your own thermometer.
Be your own thermometer. Set your own temperature. Set your own intentions. And hell or high water, control the controllables, but don't let other people take away from where you're supposed to be headed. So some of those questions are, what is an act of kindness that you have done for somebody or somebody's done for you? Because if we're not doing things bigger than us, we're very selfish.
Yep.
And we're not living in spirit.
Yep.
Where did you fail today? Because everybody's afraid to fail, but you have to fail.
You have to.
Or you can't move forward, because if we're not failing, we're not trying hard enough. And if we're not trying hard enough to learn, then we're not growing. And if we're not growing, then we're dying. So we just have to fail a little easier each step of the way, right? Until we do it so much we can't fail it. And then we learn something new.
Gosh.
So how do we fail, or how did we fail? With intention of learning something from it without fear.
Yep.
What have you done today that you are proud that makes today count? Like, how did you win the day? Are you finishing the day as the dead bug on the windshield, or are you finishing the day as the windshield? You get to define that, not somebody else.
That's it. Yes.
You know, what is something that you've done that has made you laugh? Because most people don't laugh anymore. They're so stressed that they don't even know how to smile. And when we laugh, do you know what happens when we laugh?
What's that?
It actually relaxes your jaw muscle, which takes tension off of your neck, which eliminates back tension. And it also releases happy hormones. So it's like we're all pharmacists. We're hacking into the nervous system and releasing happy hormones and lowering stress hormones. So how do people laugh? Nobody laughs anymore.
That's true.
Because the world is so dark. 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day is what we process. And over 40,000 of those for the general percentage of the world are negative.
Negative.
And that's what we surround ourselves with most of the time. So who are you surrounding yourself
That's
with?
it.
Because you're 90% of your environment.
Now,
So
she
it's
is
boom, boom,
preaching,
boom,
y'all.
right?
Preaching.
But that's just where you can start. Like most people don't even know where to start and feeling better, and they want this switch from one to the next. And you have to be willing to learn every day. So for me, one of my best practices every single day is listening to a podcast like yours or like the Impact Show or the Ed Milet Show, because I have to learn something every single day before I go serve others.
That's it.
Or I'm not alive.
Facts.
And everything I like to do, it has to have some kind of a faith backing behind it. So I don't listen to stuff that's not going to teach me something that matters.
Right, right.
So there's no spending of time on social media until I can learn something.
This podcast was one of the all-time greats. And this podcast right here is going to impact a lot of people.
And I love that.
And I am so grateful for you joining today.
Thank
so
you.
Grateful for your time driving up all the way from Monrovia, Indiana, to the barn here. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the nostalgic barn here in the background.
One cornfield to the next.
One cornfield to the next. Absolutely. And Amber, I want to. Our audience has to follow you.
Yeah.
If you have got to follow Amber.
Yep.
She puts out great content. How can our audience get in touch with you?
Yep. The easiest way to find all of our social media handles or to get a hold of phone number, email, just remember KKS, which is short for Kivett Kinetic Solutions, KKSMagik.com. KKSmagic with a K.com. I'm on all the social media handles. I don't spend too much time on TikTok or Snapchat.
Yep.
But Facebook, Instagram, linked.
It's all there.
It's all there. But if you want to learn and see what the facility is and learn about the bio, see who I'm working with, have access to all the podcasts I've been featured in, articles that I've published for Shape Magazine, Live Strong, all these others. I mean, there's just so much content out there, but it's all from the convenience of our website.
Amber, literally people fly from all over the world to work with Amber.
Yep.
You got to work with Amber. If you're listening to this, you got to look her up.
Yeah.
You got to work with her. You got to experience her and the barn for yourself.
Yep.
It's life-changing.
And if I can't get you to come to me for a certain fee, I fly out to wherever I have to go, because everybody deserves the right to dream.
Yes.
And if I can give you your dreams back, it's worth the investment. You're investing in your future.
That's it. We could go down a whole nother podcast of that. And investing into yourself. There's no better investment than investing into yourself. That's exactly right. Well, sooner than
priming.
that. We will have you back sooner than later on this podcast. And Amber, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute joy and privilege. I want to encourage you listeners as we hop off here. I know this encouraged you. I know you know somebody that needs to hear this message from Amber. Share it with them. Okay, share it with one person, share it with two persons, share it with 5 people right now before you move on with your day, to give someone else the fire that they need for their day. Give someone else the motivation they need to chase their dream. And always remember that competing is doing what God is calling you to do, even when it's hard.